Dami naman. Titignan natin sitan.
Okay, balik na ako. Kapag i-share mo sa ako, nawala nga po baka makapagkapin. Oo, wala na siya. Ay, kung ito mahal ko.
You want to do a luge, don't you? Oh, go-karting.
Down a hill.
Down a hill.
Oh, naroon to ha. Ingaw kayo. Okay, let's go. Noon man nga brand ka na huge.
Yeah, mga napangalan siya Agdi. Agdi ba? Agdi.
Especially milk, anyway.
Mga mall naman siguro na eh. Dito, unahan pa. Isay.
Kana.
Di anad man sila dire. Video ini. Oh. Nasakyan na ang shade. Gumito ni mo?
Yeah, I'll see what they do.
Bakit ka bumili niyan? Marami tayong tubig sa ano.
Hindi na pili.
On the house,
Ano yan? Roman day na. Hostel. Hostel. Ano mo, backpacker? Bike mo, Belo, bike. Yan na lang bike mo. Burg burger.
And then the top order.
Okay, turn left.
good, mabasa ang ano ko.
Saan?
Alin?
Ito, kasi nagulan, di ba?
Saan? Saan?
Dito na. Main road tayo, main road. Moto.
Ito tayo.
Kathmandu.
Pero gusto ka sa akin, bigyan mo.
Perfume mo. Gusto mo perfume mo, ma? Ayan o, perfume mo.
Ano?
189.64.
Narip ang mga ayam. Dahil makarelipot.
Let's go. Dito na tayo pag ganyan. Ha? Sure ka? Okay, let's try. Brecon Street. May bike doon. Dito tayo sa bike. Dito muna ako sa bike. Giant? Giant. Ano yan? For sale? Ah, Santa Cruz? Ah.
Holidays, right? Until when?
Yeah, going to Naga tomorrow. So when you get
Oh, may picture kayo dyan. Wait. Wait, Doy. Oh. Picture. Andiyan pa si Lilian eh.
No, look at.
Sa likod.
Go
Lone Star.
Will be open throughout the cruise. Please just keep in mind it is a marine toilet, and what that means is please only flush things that aren't actually meant to be flushable. Anything else, there is a bin in the toilet, and feel free to put your other items in that bin. Then we do have a bar. The bar will be open throughout the entire duration of the cruise. I've got my friend Bree on board today. Hello, Bree. She will be helping you guys out for all the bar service, for any drinks, snacks, coffees, drinks, anything that you desire. There is a couple bins by that bar there as well, for both rubbish and glass. Please just chuck it in the respective bins. Then last but not least, as you come up to the bridge here and up onto the top deck, we have some steep stairs heading up to the front, up to the top deck rather. Those stairs are like a ladder, so as you are going up and coming down, please make sure you are facing the back of the boat, going down backwards like a ladder. That's just because they are quite steep. They are prone to being a little bit of a falling hazard, so please just make sure you're going nice and slow, nice and controlled, going backwards like a ladder. On that top deck as well, that is also the location of our life jackets on board. So if there was to be an emergency, please do just listen to any directions myself or Bree may give you throughout the cruise, and please follow any directions we would give you in any emergency situations. And we would just get everyone together up on that top deck, grab on a life jacket and listen very, very hard for any directions we may give as we swim away from the boat as fast as we can. Okay, so as we are leaving the bay here, right in front of us, that I pointed out just before, we do have the TSS Earnslaw. I'll bring her up just on the port hand side of the boat for a moment here for you guys. Back in the old gold mining era of Queenstown. Back when the first settlers first came here, in 1860s, Queenstown did actually start as a small little farmstead just on the shores of Lake Wakatipu, the lake that we are travelling on today. There is still old residual walls that were created specifically for the Earth's size and dimensions. Nowadays, it shows horse tricks and eco tours as well. She is like a working museum operating on this lake. She operates up to 14 hours a day, every single day, and ends up coming out of here every year or two for servicing. As she is 113 years old, does take a little bit to get her up and running and keep her taking it along nice and safely. history. She operated going around some of the islands around New Zealand, such as Papua New Guinea, Vanuatu, as well as the Cook Islands and some rural parts of New Zealand, showing up operating as an on-water dentist. That's right, she used to have a full dental studio up in the lower decks on that boat, where it was either everyone's favourite boat to see or least favourite boat to see, depending on how their mouth felt at the time. She is now retired onto this lake and is used as a private vessel by one of the people in this area that we're entering into now, called Kelvin Heights, or Kelvin Grove to some of the older locals in the area. This is New Zealand's first $1 million suburb, the area that we are entering into now. As back in 2003, it was declared as such because even the smallest section of property in this area was had a higher land value than anywhere else in New Zealand, surpassing $1 million for even the cheapest section of land. One of the big reasons for this, other than Queenstown's general popularity for among both locals and internationals, is because of the big ball of fire in this. As we are quite far down south in the southern hemisphere, the sun does not rise that high in the sky, only to about a 45-degree angle. What that means is that all the houses that you see on our left-hand side will not see the sun for about 4 to 6 weeks at all in the middle of winter, and even outside of those months lose it for most of the day. However, all the houses that you can see over on our right side over here get the sun all day long. This has made it a very, very desirable place for some of our wealthier people in New Zealand in order to build nice, big, beautiful homes that you can see up here over on the side. And as they say, wealth attracts wealth. Big buildings attract big buildings, and it raise the land value and the niceness of the area to be what it is today. This has inspired some really, really interesting architectural designs in this area. One of my favourites, which is just about to come up on our right-hand side in just a moment. Just coming into view right behind the tree on our right, there is a house that has been designed to look like the bow of a boat. Harking back to the Noah's Ark was the inspiration of the design. It once featured on Grand Designs New Zealand, including X-Men Origin Wolverine. The Deer Park Heights used to contain a nice little hut on the top where Logan escaped to after he escaped from the facility with his new adamantite claws and skeleton after jumping off a giant waterfall, which is actually Stirling Falls, located over in Milford Sound. We have had some other local films filmed up on Deer Park Heights, as well as the general Queenstown area as well. Films such as Zephyr, Willows, Shakers Run, Waterhorse and Vertical Limit, as well as a couple TV shows such as Under the Vine, Remarkable Place to Die and One Lane Bridge, filmed both with Deer Park Heights and other locations all around Queenstown. Highly recommend checking out those movies and films and TV shows if you want to get a bit of a taste of Queenstown away from Queenstown itself. Side, you can see a big, white, beautiful house just right on the lakefront, right above these trees on the side. Funnily enough, that was the very first mansion built in this entire area of Kelvin Heights that we are passing. And when it was built, this entire lake is coming up on our right here that we're actually going to go visit in a moment. And on the way to the entrance of this lake, all the sediment and silt on the lake all naturally flows towards the river and has ended up creating a very, very shallow shelf of land to our right-hand side here. So, if we continue going straight, it would very quickly become only about half a metre deep underneath us. And as we have a transom, which is a depth under the water of just under a metre, we would be unable to travel on further. However, there is a sneaky little deep water channel that runs through this very, very shallow area that we're going to go attempt to try and find today.
Oh,
The very shallowest part of our journey today. If you have some good eyesight or some polarized glasses, I do recommend trying to have a look out the side of the boat right now. You may be able to make out the bottom of the lake bed. That is because the area that we're traveling over right now is only about 1.6 meters deep below us at this current time, according to my depth sounder. The reason why you can see the bottom of this water so clearly is because this lake is almost 99% pure dihydrogen monoxide, also known as H2O water. That is because we don't have any major agricultural farms above this lake, so almost all the water entering into it is pure rainfall and glacier mount, meaning that the water in here is almost 100% pure with only a very slight variation of depth.
Mangrove yan, Bill, eh. Mangrove. Ibang pangalan kasi nasa New Zealand, eh. That Wanaka tree. Ayun, may plane. Ang bilis ng plane.
Okay guys, we are just holding up the vessel here and gonna come to a stop for a short amount of time as we have just reached the halfway point of our cruise. At this halfway point, we like to point out what is just over to our starboard or right hand side of the boat. For those of you on the port side, don't worry, I'll spin around the vessel in a moment so you guys can get a good look as well. The overall outlet of the entire lake Wakatipu to drain out, going over towards another little township called Dunedin, eventually coming out to the south of us, down here in Invercargill, entering into the ocean, about 120 kilometers away. So let's count our dam here. The reason why this dam was originally constructed was back in 1926. It was an old gold mining scheme, where some developers came in and built this beautiful dam after 3 years of construction and dropped dam gates with the idea that they would completely drain out the river in behind it, so that way they could take all the dredging equipment and dredge the bottom of the riverbed for the biggest payday of gold that they could ever imagine. However, they forgot to conduct a water survey before starting and did not realize that another river called the Shotover River empties out into this river, being the Cowdell, and ended up backfilling the river all the way to the dam gates on the other side. So what happened was they dropped the dam gates down, called it a day, and went away on holiday for 2 to 3 months. When they got back to Queenstown, they found that everyone, for some reason, was very, very mad at them. That is because every single person's house in Queenstown on the lakefront ended up getting flooded. As this is the only outlet of the entire lake, the dam gates ended up raising the water level of the entire lake by over 3 meters, drowning everyone in Queenstown's homes and destroying a lot of property. So not only did their scheme not work and the river was still filled with water, but they ended up causing one of the most amounts of damage Queenstown has ever seen, deeming the project a complete failure. The dam was then repurposed into a car and footbridge, where they conducted that purpose all the way up until 2016, where the bridge up behind it was built in order to transport all heavier vehicles with 2-lane bridges the whole way across. the name manages. Beaumont Course is also home to one of our three major ski fields that exist around the Queenstown area itself, being the Remarkables behind us here, Coney Peak on the other side of Queenstown, and Cadrona, located down the Cadrona Valley on the way over to Wanaka, about 1 hour drive from Queenstown.
Bella, tingin kayo dito.
So over on our left-hand side, you can see these people standing on this wharf on the right-hand side of the Hilton. The reason why they're standing on that wharf waiting around is because that is one of the other stops of our friendly bus ferry company that operates in around this area. So if you did want to come over and visit the Hilton yourself, check out the Cowdell Dam, which is still used as a footbridge to this day and still accessible for bikes and feet. Just no cars or any larger vessels, larger vehicles rather. The All-Bus Ferry is the best and easiest and fastest way to get over to this area. If you are looking for the ferries, just look for the signpost with the white and yellow signs. Swimmers at the water, but also not the best flyers. So what they end up doing is a combination of the two. Whenever they are frightened or startled or moving out of the way in a hurry, what they do is they flap their wings and run across the water, giving them the name of bird walkers or Jesus birds, which is quite apt coming up to Christmas. We may as well start calling them Christmas birds at this time of year as well. As they're flying across the water, harkens back to the days of Jesus walking.
Ayaw nila dito, Bel.
You can actually see a mountain in the distance with some snow on top of it. That snow is fresh snow that has just fallen in the last day or two. However, that mountain with the snow on top of it is actually one of our other local ski fields, being the Cadrona mountain range on the way over to another little township called Wanaka on the other side. Cadrona ski field is actually New Zealand's largest ski field, as of opening up a new section of it this year. With brand new lift and chairlifts that has a wide variety of terrain for everyone from beginners all the way to advanced people, during the winter months, and they are also open during the summer as well, as they offer mountain karting up on the top of Cadrona and mountain biking as well. It's a fun place to head over, even if you don't want to do any of those. They have cafes and little bars open up on the top of Cadrona, and the Cadrona Hotel, located at the bottom, is also one of the most photographed and most well-renowned restaurants in the entirety of